Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. Today I'll be discussing the second chapter of Snapshots, and that is The Address by Marga Minko. Before I actually begin with the story, which is an autobiographical account of Minko's life, I would like to tell you the background history associated with this story. We all must have heard the name of Adolf Hitler. Yes, he was a dictator of Germany, and he was responsible for torturing thousands of Jews. Now, in order to reinstate the authority of one section of the society, that was the Nazis, he had to identify Jews as an inferior race. Adolf Hitler had created a war between the Nazis and the Jews, where the Jews were brutally tortured by the Nazis and sent to concentration camps. Now, beginning with the story, there is a young girl who is standing outside a door. She is waiting for that door to be answered. She is here to collect the valuable possessions that belonged to her mother. As the door is answered, a lady by the name of Mrs. Dorling opens the door. The young girl introduces herself as Mrs. S. daughter and tells Mrs. Dorling that she is here to collect her mother's things that was given to Mrs. Dorling by her mother before the war. But Mrs. Dorling refuses to identify the young girl. The young girl is now perturbed. She is confused. Is she talking to the right person? Has she come to the right address? Is she doing the right thing? But then immediately all her questions are answered. Mrs. Dorling is wearing a green cardigan, and the young girl immediately knew that that green cardigan was actually that of her mother's. After much persistency, Mrs. Dorling agrees that yes, she knew Mrs. S, but right now she is busy. She is getting late for some work and she cannot talk to Mrs. S' daughter. Daughter of Mrs. S, who is also the narrator of the story, is very disturbed and very disappointed. She is very disturbed because she was very disappointed by the cold reception that she met at the hands of Mrs. Dorling. Disheartened, she has to go back to her home. As the narrator is moving back to the railway station, she remembers her past memories of bygone days. When the narrator was very small, she got to know that some of the things in her house were missing. She immediately responds to this to her mother. The mother informs her that since they are Jews and would be soon sent to concentration camps, their valuable things have to be given to somebody who could take care of those things. Mrs. Dorling was the rescue that came to Mrs. S. She was an old acquaintance of Mrs. S and was a Nazi, and so she wouldn't be sent to a concentration camp. In a place like concentration camp, there is no place for valuable possessions, and in order to preserve her things, Mrs. S had to give away her valuable possessions to Mrs. Dorling. Though the small girl is not happy with the fact that her mother is giving away her things, yet she has to comply with the decision of her mother. Her mother informs her that when the war is over and when the things are noble, the young girl can go and collect her possessions from house number 46 Marconi Street. Yes, house number 46 Marconi Street was the address of Mrs. Dorling, and this is the address that Mrs. S gives to her daughter. Mrs. S is a very simple woman, and at this point of time, when there is a war going on, she cannot see through the treachery of Mrs. Dorling. She has to accept her decision. The young girl has reached her apartment. She is very disappointed for not being able to meet Mrs. Dorling properly. Though she has come back, yet she still craves for her mother's valuable possessions. And she makes up a decision that even though the war has been really harsh on the family, yet she is going to go back and collect her things from Mrs. Dorling that actually once upon a time belonged to her mother. She gets and takes up all her courage and goes to Mrs. Darling's house the next day. But this time, the young girl is not met with Mrs. Darling. Instead, she meets Mrs. Darling's daughter. Mrs. Darling's daughter is a very warm person, and she invites Mrs. S.'s daughter, who is also the narrator, inside her house. When the narrator is sitting in the drawing room, a sudden thought comes into her mind. It was a room that she knew and did not know. I know it's a very interesting fact. A room you know and you do not know. Mrs. S.'s daughter could see through that the most of the things in the room was actually the ones that belonged to her mother. Yet she was very disappointed and disturbed to see that the things were kept in a very, very bad place. They were not taken care of, they were not dusted, they were being kept in a very untidy environment. This thing broke the heart of the young girl. She always had very sweet memories associated with those valuable possessions because those possessions belonged to her mother. A thing is important to a person not only because it is expensive, but also because of the memories that are associated with those things. And the young girl was feeling very bad because the memories that she had with those things were very sweet. But the way that she's looking at these things now at the present moment disturbs her. The things are not kept properly, the things are not dusted, they are sitting in a very dark room. At that point of time, the young girl decides that no, she does not want the things back. She wants to forget all the things and the memories of the past reality. She wants to move forward in life. She wants to do things that are more optimistic. If she is going to attach herself with those memories, with those things, she wouldn't be able to move forward in future. She gets up at this point of time from the drawing room and decides to leave. Mrs. Darling's daughter informs her that her mother would be home soon and she should wait for her mother. But now Mrs. S.'s daughter has already made her decision. She no longer craves for those things. She no longer craves for those bad memories. She now wants to move forward in life. The story, The Address, begins with a young girl craving for her mother's possessions. And the story ends with the young girl finally deciding to move ahead in life, forgetting about all the possessions of her mother. This is a story about the optimistic attitude that the young girl shows. Even though the young girl has faced a lot of problems and traumas in her life, she, at the present moment, is ready to take her life to a new level. She is ready for the new journey and for the new beginning in her life. So the first theme that is associated with the story is the positive and optimistic attitude that is shown by the young girl even in the time of trauma. The second theme that is associated with the story is the harsh reality of war. We know that war results in destruction of life and property. But in this story, we can also see it results in the loss of identity. A young girl who is Jewish is being sent to a concentration camp where she also gives up on her identity. War is very harsh on people. It results in destruction of life, it results in destruction of property, and it also results in the destruction of one's feelings. In the pre-war times in the story, when the young girl was very small, she had a luxurious lifestyle, she had a home of her own, she had a possession of valuable things, and most importantly, she had her mother. Pre-war is referred to the time before the war. But after she's being sent to the concentration camp and soon the war ends, she's left with nothing. She has a very normal lifestyle now. She does not own a house. Instead, she lives in a rented apartment. She does not possess valuable things. And yes, most importantly, after the war, she does not have her mother. This story very beautifully describes that we as humans need to retrospect the fact. Do we need war? Yes, war may result in power, but it also results in the loss of lives, loss of emotions. So the two themes that are associated with this story is, first, the positive attitude of the young girl, and secondly, the harsh realities of war. Now let's discuss the characteristics that are associated with the story. The first character is that of Mrs. Dorling. She comes across as a selfish woman who does not accept Mrs. S and her daughter after the war. She refuses to identify. This shows that she was an opportunist woman. She became friends with Mrs. S just to take control of her valuable things. And when the moment came to give it back, she refuses. So she's selfish, she's an opportunist woman, she is a person who is not loyal to Mrs. S and her family. The next character that we are going to discuss is that of Mrs. S. Mrs. S is a Jew and a very simple woman who lives in Holland. Because of the policy of Hitler, she and her family will soon be sent to concentration camps. And before she is being sent, she wants her valuable possessions to be in the custody of somebody who can take care of that. But Mrs. S could not see through the treachery of Mrs. Dorling. She is a simple woman who falls into the trap of Mrs. Dorling. The final character that we are going to discuss is that of the narrator. She is a young girl who is disturbed by war. The war has resulted in the loss of her house, in the loss of her valuable possessions, loss of her mother, and overall in the loss of her identity. So the address very beautifully and very accurately tells us about war and the aftermath of war. Thank you. This is it for today. We'll meet next time.